These are the signs of someone who belongs to Mami Wata. A child who prefers water to people. A girl who can sit inside a river for hours without shivering. Hair that refuses to stay braided. Sudden unexplained wealth appearing around them. A faint mark around the finger, wrist, ankle or waist, like jewelry that was removed but never truly gone. But before we go in depth into the other signs of a Mami Wata, listen to this story of a man who is thankful that he got married to one. The drums of the marriage ceremony stopped just before midnight. The guests left slowly, laughing and wiping sweat from their necks. The air was thick and warm, smoke from cooking fires still floated above the compound. Inside his house, Maazi Okoro sat alone for a moment. He was proud. He had paid a heavy bride price, goats, gold, coral beads and bags of cowries. The entire village had seen it. He had married a quiet, beautiful girl from a respected family. At least that was what he believed. Outside the compound, Adanna's parents stood in the dark. They did not cry for their daughter. They did not call her name. Instead, they released a long breath that they had been holding for 20 years. He is now, her mother whispered. Her father nodded, though his hands trembled slightly. They had told Okoro that their daughter was shy, that she spoke little because she was modest, that she kept to herself because she was disciplined. They did not tell him that as a child she would sit for hours by the stream, speaking to the surface of the water as if someone answered her. They did not tell him about the times she woke up soaked, though no rain had fallen. They did not tell him about the fish that would appear in their cooking pots without being caught. They were tired. Adanna sat on the mat in Okoro's chamber. She did not cry. She did not tremble. She did not look at him. She stared at the corner of the room. Okoro approached her slowly. He placed his hand on her shoulder. He gasped and pulled back immediately. Her skin was freezing, not cool like evening air. Cold, deep cold, like water drawn from the deepest part of a river. Adanna, he said carefully, why are you so cold? She did not turn. The bed is too dry, she said softly. Okoro frowned. What do you mean? He says the ground is too hard for me. Okoro felt irritation rise in his chest. Who is he? She did not answer. He lit the oil lamp beside the wall. That was when he saw it. The woven mat beneath her was darkening, slowly, spreading outward. He knelt and touched it. Water. Not sweat, not spilled palm wine, water. He lifted his finger and tasted it. Salt. His house stood far from the sea. He stood up quickly. Adanna, what is this? She finally turned her head slightly. He is not happy, she whispered. By the third day, the servants had begun whispering. Adanna did not eat much. When she did, she preferred raw fish. When cooked meals were placed before her, she barely touched them. Each morning, her sleeping mat was damp. Each night, the air in the room smelled faintly of the sea. On the fifth day, Okoro followed her to the stream. The women of the village carried pots and laughed as they washed clothes. Adanna carried nothing. She stepped into the water and stood still. The other women shifted away from her without speaking. Okoro watched from behind a tree. The water reached her waist, her wrapper clung to her body, then something strange happened. Under the sunlight, her skin shimmered faintly. Not like sweat, like scales. He blinked, but when he looked again, her skin was normal. But the water around her moved differently, as if something beneath it circled her. Two elderly women came to braid her hair the next morning. They walked carefully. They pulled, twisted and tied thick knit plaits. When they finished, they smiled. It did not last. Before their eyes, the braids loosened, not unraveling, sliding apart. Each plait fell heavy down her back. One of the women dropped her comb. I will never touch her again, she muttered. On the seventh morning, Okoro woke to find something hard beneath his sleeping mat. He lifted it. Pearls, smooth, perfect white. He searched the entire room. There were more, in the corners, beneath Adanna's side of the mat, inside a folded cloth. He confronted her. Where are these coming from? She looked at him calmly. I do not bring them, she said. They follow me. Okoro stomped to her parents' house that same day. He threw a handful of pearls onto their floor. Take back your daughter, he shouted. She is not normal. Her father avoided his eyes. She is your wife now. You deceived me. Her mother finally spoke. We told you she was quiet. You did not tell me she leaked salt water into my house. Neither parent responded. The bride price had already been spent. Desperate, Okoro took Adanna to the high priest of the 7 rivers. The old man did not allow them to sit. He studied her silently, then he shook his head. You thought you married a simple girl, he said to Okoro. You did not. He pointed at Adanna's hand. Around her ring finger was a faint circle in her skin. It glowed softly, almost invincible, but it was there. No metal made that, the priest said. Okoro swallowed. What is she? The priest's eyes hardened. She was claimed before she was born. By who? The king beneath the water. Okoro's throat went dry. You mean a spirit? The priest did not answer directly. She was allowed to live among you for a time. That time is ending. The day it happened, the sky darkened early. Not with normal rain clouds, with something heavier. The wind stopped, birds disappeared, the river grew quiet, too quiet. Then it began to rise, not gradually, it lifted like a wall. Villagers screamed and ran, children cried, goats broke into ropes. The water moved toward the village without sound. Adanna stepped outside. She did not run. Okoro grabbed her arm. Come inside, she looked at him. Her eyes were no longer brown, they were bright turquoise. Come. The debt is paid, she said. What debt? He shouted. She gently removed his hand. The wave reached her. It did not crash, it opened. She stepped forward and disappeared into it. The water folded back in on itself, then it retreated. The village was dry, untouched, except for Okoro's house. Inside his chamber, the bed was gone. In its place stood a mound of fine sea salt. Beside it, gold coins, foreign, heavy, more wealth than he had ever owned. He was now the richest man in the region. But his house was never dry again. At night, he heard water moving across the floor. Sometimes he woke up to find pearls beside his pillow. He never remarried, and when the wind was strong, he thought he heard her voice. Not crying, not calling, just moving like the tide.